okay? I was fat, and I started taking Ozempic, and now my pants might fall down, so if they do, I told you guys if I didn't wear a belt, and I'm like, I talked with Nick over here, my Marine buddy, and he said if I fall down with my pants, he's gonna come get them for me. It's the sweetest stuff. Here's the other thing. Now that I'm up here in front of everybody, I'm a little bit nervous, not gonna lie, lights on, all the wonderful people here, it's the biggest crowd, Carecraft has had, and I'm like up here going, man, I hope I don't bomb this. Just like the last time. No, I want you guys to know, it's really weird, I kind of fell apart in my last job, so I want to do that again. I was 25, I was cut off at the knees. Now, if I'm being honest, 20 years to retire sounded good when I signed up, and I was like, I want that quicker, so I just kind of walked into it. I did. And, it is awkward, because I'm 37 now with 2 feet in the grave, but, Here's the thing, you guys seen me speak before a few years back, like, the story hasn't really changed, the sharks are still going to bite me today. But some of the jokes will be the same, some will be different, we'll have a little more open dialogue. But I got a special guest in the room. Ladies and gentlemen, my mother-in-law, Tammy Buck, is here. Tammy, where are you at? Raise your hand, she's in the back. Tammy? Where are you at? Greatest thing ever. I didn't think she was going to make it, but her broom got out of the shop. She rode it all the way in here. I'm just kidding. I think it's still in the shop. No, we get along really well, me and her. We go way back to when I met her the first time. So here's the thing. I get to travel around, I tell jokes, and the thing is, I do it because it helps, disarm the situation. Knee slapper if you got them. I know. But for you out there that don't know who I am, I want to tell you something about me that you didn't know before today. You take home to your friends and family, okay? Something serious and personal to me so that we're on the same level. And here it is, all right? I don't wash my hands after I use the bathroom. I mean, I wash my hands, but that's how it is. I don't have hands with an S, plural. All right, good. All right, we're getting it. Listen, I'll tell you what, you guys, I think I'm cutting in and out. If you guys keep drinking, I get better. I promise. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But here's the thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come listen to me talk. And I want to just say that, Greg and Carecraft and everybody have been so fantastic. And I'm going to tell you about that relationship, how that all started later on in my presentation. But we got about 6 hours to get through. So I think we'll start with politics, hit religion. Married couple want to talk finances. Tony, Kristen, you guys finances, Amazon purchase. Yeah, we'll get there. And then who knows where we'll go from there. But check this out. On the screen right here, ladies and gentlemen, you will see my wonderful wife, Kelsey. And you'll see my daughter. Everything in my life from this point. Am I cutting in and out? Am I okay? Am I moving too much? I want everybody mad at me. But here's the thing. In my life, everything in this picture is going great. Just got promoted to staff sergeant, right? My wife and I just had our daughter, and we just bought a house recently. And I have the best life in the world. And no offense, if you're married, you're supposed to think your spouse is number one. That's the whole thing. But here's how I know my wife is number one, right? When my daughter was born, the sweet angel came into the world, 14 hours of labor. I slept for most of it. I was pretty tired, but I woke up though, with bored and stuff. And when my daughter was, born, we were like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna name her? And we had to narrow down to Madison or Avery. And my wife, exhausted, right, from the whole giving birth thing, she looks up at me like disgusted and angry with a heavy sigh. She's like, ugh, we have to name her Chloe Lynn, don't we? And I was like, no, we don't have to. What makes you think that? And she's like, well, you're an idiot. I was like, what? She goes, yeah, you already have an ex-girl was named tattooed on your arm. Well, so I did. So we named her after my ex-girlfriend to make it make sense. The hurtful part is you guys think that could be true. Like, I'm not a Marine. I'm not that dumb. So, no, I'm kidding. That's not true. My ex-girlfriend's name's the devil. She's a terrible person. And I do talk about her a little bit later, but check this out. Everything in my life at that point was going great. Let's back it up, okay? I'm from a very small town in Michigan. Go Blue, and if you're a Ohio State fan, whatever, we still beat you, so I don't care. If someone from Ohio can tell me if it takes 2 people to spell 4-letter state, that would be great. It's 4 letters. You guys, you can do this. So here's the thing. On the top left of the screen there, you can see my mom and dad's favorite day in their whole entire lives. That's April 14th, 1987, when their favorite child was born. And you guessed it, that's me. But you can see by the pictures, I have siblings, right? Let me tell you the sequence of events that happened. They had the first kid, it was my sister, and the doctor said, it's a girl. And my mom said, crap. My dad yelled at the doctor, that's not what we wanted. So back to the drawing board they went. Then they had me, and it was the weirdest thing because when I was born, my mom and dad were so overcome with emotion they couldn't hold me for a little bit because they were just sobbing so heavily. And I thought for the longest time my name was Perfection because that's what the doctors kept saying over and over again. And before they gave me, my parents actually put more stuff on my forehead and held me to the ceiling, and they played the circle of life. You know, because the chosen one had been born and everything. Then my parents got a little cocky on their winning streak. They thought they could duplicate me. And they had my brother, and they saw him, they were almost named him Daisy. They're like, nope. And, for like, whoops a daisy. But growing up, I played a lot of sports. You know what I'm saying? Football, basketball, baseball, did some powerlifting. I know you guys can tell. What? That's my text. You guys get in the back. So hold a shot put record for junior high. I just thought you guys should know. It's no big deal. I'll sign autographs later. But it makes sense. So we booked it, and we did. I flew into Dallas to pick her up and knocked on the door. And her dad came and answered the door, and he's looking up at me. His knees started to tremble a little bit. He's like, please don't hurt me, sir. You know. And I was like, I'm not gonna hurt you, buddy. I gave him a noogie. He's like, I'm not gonna hurt you, buddy. So he knew we were friends. And then he thanked me. I said, now get out of here and smack him on the butt. And away he went, you know? I don't know if it happened that way exactly. That's how I remember it, but it might be different. But anyways, we fly to Mexico for a week, have a great time, spend New Year's over there. And then we come back and go to Michigan for a week, everything's going great. I fly back to Afghanistan, she goes back to Dallas, but on the way back to Afghanistan, I get held up in Atlanta. I fly her back from Dallas to the Atlanta airport. You know, you guys are smart people, you just threw $24,000, what's going on? And you know, in the airport, I flew her back. The next morning, we sent her goodbyes. And she's got this just crocodile tears streaming down her face, real ugly cry. You know, like you don't want to look at it, but you have to. You're a gentleman. You know the one. I see. And between her sobs and her sighs, she's like, "I do love you." And I'm like, "I'm not losing my girlfriend I met 2 weeks ago." You know, so I threw it back at her. I love you too, because that's what you say in the situation. And then she said, I want to marry you, right? And I'm like, I can't hurt. Go back to Afghanistan, so whatever. So I threw her back, I want to marry you too. And when you said that, that's what I was thinking. Crazy. Her tears dried up instantly. It was kind of crazy. 3 birds instantly at the same time, her tears dried up. They chirped the most beautiful song you've ever heard. And then 2 rainbows across the sky, and a unicorn ran out of the tree. Yeah, no, it is majestic. It's crazy. I'm feeling pretty good, right? I just verbal jiu-jitsu that conversation. Feeling real Casanova, you know what I'm saying? Walking back, strutting myself in my airplane. I fly back to Afghanistan 3 days later to my base, get a phone call. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And my wife, Kelsey, or my girlfriend at the time, my new girlfriend, you know, that loves me, was like, oh my gosh, Travis, guess what? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm on an airplane, like, what? She's like, the wedding's planned. And I'm like, what? That's awesome. I don't know. Okay. For our last conversation, that makes sense now that you're saying it out loud. That's great. So we should get married. So I had to go buy a ring, call her dad, make sure he's cool with it. We air 5 through the phone. You know. We come back, right? We get married, have a big wedding, and we get married in McKinney, Texas. And when we get married, everything. We go to Fort Bragg, we get an apartment, we live life. You know, we get a dog. We got a really cool dog. It's a very unique name for a yellow lab, but we call him Buddy. I know. Everybody's always like, hey, you want a service dog? And I'm like, no, I got one. They're like, don't you want a dog that listens? And I'm like, excuse me? I show my dog tricks. I'm like, Buddy, sit. What do you want? You know, and he does. But we got the apartment, got to hang out for a year. And then, you know, we actually, I came up on orders again. I had to go back overseas to Afghanistan for a year deployment. And this deployment was a little bit different. The first one I went over with a personal security attachment for a colonel, had a pretty chill time. Got to wait 3 hours a day, go on patrol every day, and then come back and protect a colonel. So it was really awesome. This one we went on, they flew us around as a hit squad, basically. Like they flew us around and we would go different compounds that were having trouble, and we go out there and take care of the problem. So we started out one night, we flew to this place called Rabat Sangui, and within 2 days we went out to this dry riverbed, and all the high value targets were coming down the dry riverbed, and we ended up getting all them taken care of. So 2 days after that, they flew us up to Bala Morgab, and we had to fight our way through there and take compounds. It was a lot different, but a lot more fun, if you will, an adrenaline rush of the deployment. But while I was over there, I took 4 showers that whole year, like 4 real showers, not by choice, just kind of how we were living in the middle of nowhere. And we would just, wake up in a compound and wait a few days, and we'd go take a new compound from the Taliban at, at nighttime. And I got to call my wife every 7 to 14 days. And towards the end of my deployment, I gave my wife a phone call one day, about 9-10 months in. And when she answered the phone, she was all excited, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" She goes, "Oh my gosh, Travis, guess what?" And immediately, ladies and gentlemen, red flag went up. I was like, "Oh my gosh, last time I got married." So I was like, "I don't know, what?" And she said, "Well, I bought a house today." And I went, "That's awesome." I was like generally jazzed up about it. That's awesome. Then I got thinking about it. I was like, "Wait a second, you're in college with literally no income. How did you buy a house?" And she said, "Well, do you remember that power of attorney that you signed?" And I said, "I think I signed for banking, right? You do some banking in my name?" She goes, "No, actually it's for everything." And then she said, "Never think about it. Look, you bought a house today." In all honesty, ladies and gentlemen, I really enjoyed the military. I was good at it. And on that second deployment, I had the choice to get out or re-enlist, and without hesitation, I re-enlisted. I took the oath again. I re-enlisted for stabilization, so I knew I'd be at Fort Bragg for at least a year. I actually got college op in it, so I had 6 months of college I got to go to for a semester. And my wife and I knew the military was going to be for us. So I went ahead and re-enlisted. We bought a house down the road with my brother-in-law in the same subdivision. And when I got back from Afghanistan, my wife had the house all set up, so I got to go to our house in North Carolina. And 4 months after that, my wife and I found out we were going to have a baby, which was very exciting. And my daughter was born 9 months later in late September of 2011. And that's kind of where the story started today, right? I just bought a house, just got promoted to staff sergeant. My promotion is the day that my daughter Sarah made the pink outfit. And everything was going my way. And the truth is, my unit got orders to go to Afghanistan for a 3rd time. And the big army gave me orders to go to Fort Hood, Texas. And their reason was, "Hey, Sergeant Miller, you got over 2 years of combat experience. We don't need you to go in this one. We need to start a new brigade up in Fort Hood. We want you to go build that up because you have all the combat experience as a non-commissioned officer." And that sounds great, right? "Oh, I'm going to go back to Afghanistan. This is going to be awesome." I said, "This one out." Doesn't work that way because the military is a brotherhood. And these people that I served with believed in me, and out of 40 guys in my platoon, I worked my way up to the 3rd highest ranking non-commissioned officer. And I have guys from Texas and Maryland and California and Idaho, just all over that come to serve underneath me. They come to my house for barbecues. I know their family and their kids, and I'm their boss. So there's no way I could deploy. My wife understood that. So I went to my sergeant major and got my orders canceled so I could deploy for the 3rd time. He said, "Yeah, no, I get it. I understand." He canceled them, so I had to go to Fort Hood. I said goodbye to my daughter and my wife in late February of 2012. I went overseas. And the first day in country, we got to our base, our forward operating base, our small little place there. We went on patrol. And I was in charge of the 240 Bravos. So 240 Bravos are the biggest machine guns on the battlefield. And my job was, if ever we got engaged, my 2 guns that I controlled, my 8 guys would keep their heads down so we could maneuver around them and take them out. And we went on patrol, and we had some guys try to go across another dry riverbed. And while they were halfway across, the other side of the riverbed opened up fire. And it was AK-47s and PKMs and machine guns. Mortars were dropping, RPGs were getting fired off, and all hell broke out. So on my side, we opened up. And everybody got down to prone, took a knee, was set up, but I didn't. I had to go from the left to my right limit, back and forth, make sure my guns were doing the right thing. And while they were doing that, one of my guys in the middle of the driver bed tore his MCL and ACL, and his whole knee was all messed up. And he was down. Didn't get shot, but just couldn't move. And my first sergeant was like, hey, Sergeant Mills, tell third squad to go get Sergeant Butler out of there. I said, no, I got it. I threw my M4, so I wasn't waiting me back, or holding me down. And I ran down the river bed, picked up Sergeant Butler, ran him out, put him behind the building, and then I went back to the front line. We pulled off the front line, and me and the 4th Observer, the last ones, throwing a smoke grenade for the Kiowa helicopters. And we went back to our fob. And that was day 1. Day 2 was the same thing, another big firefight. And it was an adrenaline rush, but it was the most fighting I'd ever seen. And I've been deployed 2 other times. And that continued for a good month, where every 2-3 days we were mixing it up. And we finally started getting control of the battle space, and it slowed down a little bit. But a month and a half in, we got a phone call from the village elder, which is pretty typical. And the village elder said, hey, we got some stuff in the village, can you come help us out? We were used to that. We were building schools, digging wells, helping the population understand there's life outside of Taliban rule and being terrorized. And we said, yeah, no problem, let's strap my gear on, we'll come out. So on April 10th, 2012, I strapped my gear on, and we started talking about where we were going to set up, how we were going to do things. And we always had a guy in front of us with a minesweeper. The mines over there were so bad that we had someone that walked slowly and went over the ground. And for us, he marked it, he always checked it twice. Marked it safe, and threw my backpack on, and I put my backpack on the ground, and my backpack hit the ground and landed on a bomb. And when that bomb went off, it tore my right arm and leg off instantly. They never found the pieces of that. They disintegrated. And I got thrown on the left side of my face, and I rolled my back, I saw the aftermath. My left leg was completely, hanging on with just muscle and tendon, and my left arm was blown out the wrist, the rest was completely gone. So I hit the ground, rolled over, and I saw the aftermath. And within seconds, my medic was on my right side putting tourniquets on me, and my platoon sergeant was on my left side putting tourniquets on me. And I looked up at my medic, I said, hey, Dan, you're not going to save me, don't worry about it. Now, I wasn't suicidal or anything like that, but in my line of work, I'd seen a lot of guys die for a lot less injury, in my opinion, so I thought, you're not going to save me, don't worry about it, it'll be over quick. Just go save my guys. I had 2 guys jump for the medic that were next to me, and he ignored me with tourniquets on my right arm. Within 30, 40 seconds, I had tourniquets on all 4 of my limbs. And as he was working on me, I didn't know what to do with myself. The only thing I kept seeing in my head was the movie Saving Private Ryan. As weird as that probably sounds. But I saw the movie scene where the medic gets shot in the stomach. He realizes he's going to die. And he starts to beg for his mom and his life. And I told myself after deployment, no matter what happens, I'm not going to be that guy. My guy's last memory is not going to be me yelling for my mom or begging not to die. And whatever's going to happen is going to happen, so it's okay. So I calmed myself down. I reached up my trucker mic on my chest. I used my left hand that still worked, my thumb, index, and middle finger, and I rated my lieutenant and said, hey, 6, this is 4. I got guys injured. I need your medic with mine. And he sent Doc Boyce over, so Alex skips over to us. He works on Ryan and Brandon. Then he worked on me. And when he got to me, it was the worst trauma he'd ever seen, so he was kind of stuck on repeat. His job is to always calm the patient and to keep working. So he blowing on her hip, she came running over to see me. Before she got to me, the doctor stopped her. There was a sea of doctors and nurses around me. And one of the staff members said, hey, Mrs. Mills, your husband's right leg is ripped open and the sutures have actually split. So we have to cut 2 inches off his right leg or he's going to bleed out and die. But we need you to sign paperwork for us to do the procedure to cut it off. And she freaked out. She's 23, right? Last time she saw me, I was 6'3", 250 pounds, and now, they're saying they have to cut my leg even higher. And she doesn't know what to do, so I just yell through the doctors and nurses, it's fine, Kelsey, just sign the paper. So she does, she signs it, take me in for surgery, and then the next day I see her for the first time on the 18th of April, and she comes in, we get our pleasantries out of the way, hey, how's it going, da-da-da. And then I looked at her and said, hey, look, you don't have to do this. I've been thinking about this isn't your burden, this isn't this isn't what I want for you, not the promise I made to you, not what your life needs to be, so you should take everything we have, the cars, the house, any money, it's all yours. But financially, whatever I have will be for you and Chloe forever, but you don't have to do this. And, with no hesitation, she's like, no, we're going to get through this together. And that's a lot to take on, if you think about it, you sign up when you're a parent to, help someone get dressed, like a baby, get dressed and all the things, and I'm basically needing help with everything. And she's like, no, we'll get through this together. And it wasn't until later on that I realized the handicap parking is really what got her to stick around. She loves it. Oh, God. No, so And I told her she should leave. And she's like, no, we'll do this together. So I had to find my motivation. So my motivation came from, my wife being on my side, not leaving me. My daughter, Chloe, came in the room, and I think she's going to be afraid of me, right? I mean, I got pig line out of my neck, I got little sticky things on my chest, wound vac machines in my legs, I'm bandaged everywhere. I actually have a really cool scar on the back of my arm here because my pec muscle was ripped out and a big piece of shrapnel hit me, so I got it all bandaged up here. And I'm like, my daughter's going to be obviously afraid of me. I'm terrifying. And she comes in, she lays on my chest, and she starts to laugh and giggle and play. And she grabbed my nose. I remember her fingers were very pointy, and I was like, that hurts, stop. I couldn't knock her head off. And I was like, how is she not afraid of me? Does this make sense? And then it dawned on me, oh my gosh, I look like every single toy she's ever been given. Think about short arms, short legs, fuzzy chest. I'm a teddy bear, But, for these two, I have to get better. But how am I going to do it, Well, it just so happens that I'm not the first one to be a quadruple amputee. The second ever quadruple amputee, his name's Todd Nicely. He's a retired Marine Corporal. And he saw my story on the news. And he called the hospital and he flew into Walter Reed and he walked into my room one day. And the first thing out of that guy's mouth was, hey man, welcome to the club. And I shot back, but hey man, I don't want to be in your club. He let me know, kind of late now, don't you think? I said, oh, you got me there. And he said, hey, my name's Todd Nicely. I'm a retired Marine Corporal, and I'm the second ever quadruple amputee, and you were the fourth. I came here because I saw your story, and I want you to know you are in the absolute best place for you. You will learn how to walk, you will learn how to drive, you will learn how to feed yourself, you will do all the things you think you can't do. And I wanted to make sure that seeing is believing, so I wanted to make sure that you personally saw somebody that was in your shoes and has made it through. And, it was the craziest thing. And then I asked him, I said, hey, because I had a real addiction to Canada Dry. I don't know what it was, but that ginger ale was hitting me. I said, hey, you want a ginger ale? And he thought I asked him to get me a ginger ale. So he bent down on one knee, he reached his hand and he picked up a ginger ale. He stood back up, he went over, he used his other prosthetic arm, he opened the can and said, here you go, you want a straw? I said, I was asking if you wanted that. Then I said, hey, but how'd you do that? He goes, seriously, trust me, you're going to be okay. And I'm telling you what, two things went through my head that day. Number one, I'm not alone in this, right? Someone's already had to do this, so it can be done. And number two, recovery is probably super easy. Because he's a Marine, he figured it out. So. Here's the thing though, through my recovery, ladies and gentlemen, I had to figure it all out. And the first thing I had to figure out was my balance. You see, I went from 250 pounds to 140 pounds, lost 110 pounds. In my first workout, I had to sit on the edge of a table and hit a balloon. Because I lost all my core muscle in my stomach. I couldn't go right or left or sit up. Then eventually I got stronger where I let me use some cable machines. And as my wounds had healed up, when they finally got all healed up enough where I could put my prosthetic on, they molded it. And I put my prosthetic arm on in 5 weeks the very first time, and I drank a Gatorade all by myself. And then I went to the Fisher House that night where my parents and my wife were staying. And I had dinner with my parents and my wife, and I fed myself the very first time. Eventually, I was able to help around the house. Like I got to feed my daughter. For Instagram one time, I even did laundry. It was pretty cool. Once. But, like a couple pieces of clothes. But it's not going to use it. It looked good on camera. So that was my hand took 5 weeks to get. So I learned how to open it and close it and rotate it and then just kidding. It doesn't hurt. I know. The first time it fell off, it was so painful, right? And then you get these really cool attachments. Like I have a hook I wear normally, like up in the room. I don't wear it in public because it's a hook, you know what I'm saying? But they gave me this one, it's the most important one that I have. And it sits in a Crown Royal bag in the top shelf of my closet. It's called a Greifer. And it's on the screen right now. This one closes, it's like a wood clamp. And it will close 25 pounds of pressure and then it stops. It senses it. And then you can close it again, 35 pounds of pressure. You might think like, well, why is it so important? If it's so important, why is it in a Crown Royal bag in the top shelf of your closet? Well, you see, my daughter Chloe's 13, she's not dating, right? But when she does, that's when I was partying. Let me give you a scenario, just so we can get this in our minds. Here comes Johnny, he's like, hey bro, like we're not that level, Johnny. 25 pounds of pressure, don't call me bro. And he's like, dude, that hurts. I'm like, no, Johnny. And I break his hand. And, obviously as he's crying, let me go. I don't. I pull him closer, hey Johnny, guess what? He's like, I don't know what. And I'm like, no fingerprints, bro. And then, you know what I mean? And I let him go. Obviously, never deal with that again. So So there's that. Here's the thing. So at Walter Reed, I had to get strong enough to start walking again. So 7 weeks and 4 days in my recovery, I took my very first steps at Walter Reed. I strapped my legs on, and the Military Advanced Training Center was about half the size of this room. And they said, hey, you're probably going to walk 1 lap today. So I walked 3 just to prove I could. My legs felt like they were cement, they were pulsating, it was very painful. But as I got stronger, I got to lift the crutches up and work on it, and then I got taller. And these taller legs do nothing special except for make you fall faster to the ground. They don't bend or anything, but whatever. And at Walter Reed, you have to work on like going up and down curb steps and all the things you encounter out in public. And at Walter Reed, at 25 years old, surprisingly enough, I was one of the old guys. So I got the chance to work out and motivate and mentor a lot of people at Walter Reed. And it was something I really enjoyed doing. And eventually I got strong enough to wear the legs that I'm wearing today called X3s. And these legs are really cool. They're waterproof, which sounds good until you're on your boat and at 30 pounds you fall in. And you can't take them off, but at least when you get pulled up, you get them donated to somebody else. Their computers or Bluetooth. But during my recovery, I got the chance to walk out under my own power and see my guys back from Afghanistan and tell them thank you so much for all you did. I appreciate you guys. You made it possible for me to be here today. And by the end of my recovery, like Forrest Gump, I was I set some goals, right? I want to get a hand, I want to be able to do that, be independent, I want to get legs. When I was with Todd nicely those first couple of days of my injury, he came in to see me. He told me about this 5K in New York City. Telling the Towers puts on a 5K, Stephen Stiller Foundation. And he brought some firemen in. They said, hey, we want you to come be a part of this. I said, yeah, I'll be there. I'm going to walk it. They said, well, Travis, he's like, yeah, you probably won't have legs by then. I said, yeah, I'm going to walk it. Well, I strapped my legs on. I had my legs for about 1 week total. I strapped my legs on for this 5K, and I told myself, let me just see how far I can get. Went to New York City, started walking this 5K, thinking, like, let me just see what I can do. And I started going down the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. I'm inside of it, and I'm like, okay, my back's starting to hurt. My legs are getting rubbed, kind of raw. I'm sweating profusely. Like, I've done my part. When I come out of this tunnel, the last mile, I'm going to sit. I'll get pushed. It's no big deal. But then I came out of that tunnel, and there's 343 first responders with names and banners around their neck of the lives lost in 9/11 of the first responders that did make it back home. And I thought, man, if those brave men and women could give everything until they ultimately perished in the ruin of the rubble, I should be able to finish this 5K. So I did. I finished it out. I was bleeding in my liner. My back was killing me, but I did it. And then I got invited up on stage by Gary Sinise of the Lieutenant Dan Band. You guys know who Gary Sinise is, right? Yeah. Don't make it weird. We're good friends. I just want to tell you guys. I can FaceTime him if you want. We'll do it later, maybe. But he invited me up on stage. I go up on stage, and all of a sudden, my back doesn't hurt no more. 5,000, maybe 10,000. Felt like 30,000, whatever. People cheering for me. And I got like my crutch in my left arm, so I'm like waving my right. I'm like, hey, be my friend. I hope you know what I'm doing. And I'm like energized. And then this cord across stage I didn't see coming catches my toe, and like down I go. And 30,000 people, it felt like, went from cheering to, oh. Crazy embarrassing. But don't worry though, my knight in shining armor, named Brian, 6'7" bodyguard, comes out from behind stage, picks me up under my arm, it's like a rag doll. He's like, up I go, whoop, up I go. My legs start to swing a little bit, and the crowd's going wild. He's really feeling it, He sets me down abruptly because he has no idea how my legs work. And all of a sudden, whoop, down I go. Yeah, and the whole crowd, oh. That was embarrassing. But luckily, Brian's very determined. He picks me up again under my arm, goes, whoop, up I go. Same scenario. Legs dangling like a little kid. My wife's in the half circle going around like, don't drop him, don't drop him. Get my legs set, right? Get my crutch set. Brian's like, are you good? Look back at Brian like, Brian, I'm good. He sets back, the crowd goes wild. And this gentle giant with his big old paw goes, hey man, we did it. Smacks me on the back. I know, the whole crowd turned. They started yelling mercy, and I stood up on my own, and I yelled freedom. It was real Braveheart moment, whatever, William Wallace, same person, basically. So, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, at Walter Reed, I was given the gift of understanding life was not over after my injury. And I think that's very important. Life is an opportunity. But here's the thing, at Walter Reed, I was given the chance to go out and go horseback riding, which I'll never do again. Right? I went to Colorado, they had this Velcro girdle saddle thing, and they popped me on this horse. I couldn't get off if I wanted. Then they gave me the reins of this beast. And I had the reins of my little grip here. And they're like, isn't this fun? They'll get me off of this adventure. I don't know, I can't stop it. I can't even get me off this thing. So I'm just thinking about it. I was able to go horseback riding. I got to go kayaking and canoeing, right? If you guys come to the great state of Maine where I live at, just know that I drive, and I'm a terrible driver. When I say that, I mean it. Like, I'm always driving too fast. I get pulled over, I'm like, the foot got stuck, I couldn't feel it. That's all right. Yeah. A license in Maine, you know what that costs? For me, $450 bucks. Yeah, 50 bucks I failed, 400 at best. But no, I'm telling you what, you play Monopoly once, you know about the get out of jail free card. You play my life every day, it's the same thing. I don't get in trouble for nothing. But, I'm kidding. No, I'm not. I'm doing 20 over, a cop pulls me over 10 o'clock at night on the highway, all he wants is a picture. I got the picture to prove it, Greg Siegel, great dude. Anyway, so, driving, snowboarding, some skydiving, downhill mountain biking, right? Now the reason I'm showing you all this is not because look how cool I am. It's because I had the chance to understand that I might never show Chloe how to play soccer or throw a softball, the things I thought I was always going to be able to do, but I can still do these sports with my family. And during these trips, because my injuries are so bad, I still need help putting my legs and arms on. It was like $2.5 million. We opened the doors officially in 2017. And when we opened the doors, we thought it was going to be just a place in the summer for the Travis Mills Foundation Veterans Retreat for physically disabled veterans due to service. It means you can be in a car accident stateside, but you can still come. It doesn't mean, blowing up overseas like me. And we thought we're going to run this in the summer. It's Maine, it's a great time. But it went so well that we decided we probably should do this year round. So we put a new edition on recently in the last couple of years. And let me tell you something, whether you knew it or not, Carecraft, you guys are a big part of this. Ted Richard, where you at, Ted? You're so good looking. Yeah, Ted, so good looking. Ted built my pool in my house for me with his son Teddy and his wonderful crew. They also built the pool inside that new building. And, Greg was a huge one. Greg's not over there. I'm sorry, I'm pointing over here. Yeah, you are. A big part of this, too. And the reason that I'm so fortunate to be here, you guys, it's not because my story was on the news and someone saw me. It's because actually I spoke to a high school in San Diego to Greg's daughter, and she went home and told her dad all about what we got going on. And he wanted to get involved, and he's been on my side ever since, like 9-10 years now. And we opened that new facility so we can operate 42 weeks in person out of the year. We bring families from all over this wonderful nation of ours at no cost to them. And we show them how to do things adaptively, like you see in these videos. And we let them know that life's not over after injury. We have a high-rise ropes course that we put people in wheelchairs in, and we have them go through the ropes course. We have spouses that come up and they get a chance to actually go on a trip where they get to relax. And they get to not worry about every detail that goes into recovery because we've already taken care of it. Every room is adaptable, so anybody like from my injury to a wheelchair can take a shower by themselves or do anything but by themselves independently. And our whole goal is to let people know I'm not like on the sidelines. As a president and the founder, I never would have imagined this is what I'd be doing, to be honest with you. We started this on $5,000 for care packages, and we've just made the right partnerships and had the right people and the right team and support. Like I get a lot of credit, but it's not me. As the founder and president, I don't take a dime. I've never paid myself, never will. It's not about me making a salary, but we give families a chance to heal and reconnect and to come up. And the thing is, you guys, believe it or not, have been a big part of that. Carecraft has been on my team, and Greg and Ted and everybody in the room, so thank you for that. And what happens is when I go and I speak, my actual job is motivational speaking. I travel all around, and when I go and speak, I get a chance to talk to a lot of the people, and they always ask me after my presentations, well, I see what you do for physically disabled, what do you do for post-traumatic stress? And I had no answer except for, hey, this program, Warrior Path, is really good, you should check them out. Well, Warrior Path expanded their offerings, and they opened up partnership opportunities. We became one of their areas. So now we have a post-traumatic stress program that we're able to bring veterans as well as first responders. So in the room here, ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. You might not know someone like me, right? Blowing up, missing limbs. But you might have a loved one that's a first responder, nurse, officer, paramedic, firefighter, somebody that's, doctor, that's going through a rough time with post-traumatic stress, or a veteran, and they can come to this Warrior Path program. It's free of charge. We don't charge you nothing. And if you have someone that you want to send our way, check out travismillsfoundation.org and have them look us up, because we're very fortunate to do the work that we do, and we make it all possible because of people out there that care and support us, just like Greg and everybody. So that's my spiel about the Travis Mills Foundation. Honored to do the work, thankful for the opportunity to have you on my team, and we're going to keep giving back to these veterans and their families. We have some really cool, exciting things coming up in the next 2 months, so if you guys watch the news, you'll see it, hopefully. On top of that, I own a few businesses, because life is an absolute opportunity. I think people need to know that anything is possible. That's why you guys are here, right? You guys are the best in the industry, but you're here because life is an opportunity. I was on my boat drinking one day, and I pulled into the marina, and the guy came out and said, hey, you want to buy my marina? And I said, no. And then he said, okay. So I went to my neighbor, and I said, hey, you want to buy a marina with me? And he said, maybe. And then his wife and my wife got together and said, don't you idiots buy a marina. So we drank whiskey. And then we bought a marina. Does anyone want to buy a marina? So my buddy and I bought a marina. I have a restaurant that some people actually came to Maine, went and ate at, and I'm fortunate to be able to speak and do some pretty cool things. I've also written some books. First one, Tough as They Come, is a New York Times bestseller. Second one is called Bounce Back, and the second book, as soon as Craig clicks the slide, Craig, you can't do this to me up here, like Ron Burgundy. You know that. I'm so hard to find. So my second book is called Bounce Back. The thing is, I realized that we have so much more in common than people realize. A lot of you in this crowd are probably like, oh my gosh, Travis, I had this going on, but like, there's nothing like you. And the truth is, our biggest problem is our biggest problem. And that's just a fact. So what I did was I took people's stories that had like a house fire, a divorce, a widower, and I took their stories, how they went to the very bottom of the barrel and how they were able to bounce back. Because, you know, I don't think I'm any more special or should be put on a pedestal for what I went through. I just think there's ways to get through things, and we all have things that we deal with. So if I can relate or help anybody in their situation that they're going through, I hope I do. And if my story can help anybody, please, you know, have them follow me on Instagram or Facebook, pick my books up, whatever. If you guys know who Jocko Willink is, he's my jiu-jitsu partner, and I tap that fool out every time. I mean, he's like, oh, stop, Travis, here, stop. And I'm like, you better tap, fool, better tap. If you guys haven't got enough of me, a documentary came out, Children's Renegades did it, Magnolia Network. They put it out, it's on Max, and it's called High on Travis. And dumbest thing, when the day it came out, I was in Cleveland, Ohio, doing a big fundraiser, and I was telling these people about the documentary. They was like, yeah, come on today. Like, what's it called? And I'm like, oh man, I forgot. I looked at Craig, and Craig goes, hi, I'm Travis. And I was like, I'm Travis, what are you talking about? And he goes, no, Travis. And I was like, oh, that's the name of the documentary. Yeah, I am Travis, yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, people wonder if this is a facade, right? I mean, some of you know, obviously, you know this is how I am all the time. But if you don't know, maybe people wonder, like, do I always act like this in front of people, but maybe I'm not this happy-go-lucky? And the truth is, life's all about perspective. On the screen, you'll see two wonderful people that didn't make it back home. And Brandon Goodine was a 19-year-old on his his first deployment, and he stepped on a bomb about a month after I did, and he became a triple amputee, and they put him on a stretcher, and the stretcher carriers hit another bomb, and Brandon lost his life. He left behind a 7-month-old little girl, you know, showing those stories and pictures of her father. And then Francis, Gene Phillips IV, one of my absolute best friends in life. Like, truly, one of my best friends. And on his third deployment, his truck hit a bomb and everybody in the truck died. Left behind his daughter, you know, Sophia, his wife Christine, his parents, his friends and family. And, you know, I don't say this to be sad or angry or upset. I tell you this because I realized the price I could have paid. I realized that I made it through, so I might as well make the most out of it. Every day is an opportunity. And that for their sacrifice and the chance that I got to live through my injuries, I'm going to make the most out of it. You know, Frankie's mom did anything for one more conversation, and I talk to my mom and dad every day. His wife would do anything to have him, you know, in my situation, you know, with no arms and legs, but that's not going to happen. And his daughter, her dad's daughter dance. Me and my daughter are best friends. I mean, literally best friends. We go way back. I've known her my whole life. Oh, I tell you, I love it. She spills the tea, and I'm like, oh, spill the tea. And she tells me all this. I know, you guys want to know about middle school Veronica? You let me know. I got it though. You know, but I got to meet 6 of the 9 doctors, 4 from here on stage out in California at an event that worked on me that day. And they kept emailing my team asking, you know, is Travis upset? Is he mad? Is he angry? Is he thinks it's a curse, not a blessing? And I finally broke down to those guys and said, hey guys, thank you so much for making it possible for me to live. Like, you guys believe that my life mattered enough to work 14 hours straight. Because they could have loosened up one tourniquet and I would have bled out. But they made it possible for me to be here. And not a lot of people can say they don't know how to walk with their daughter. My daughter and I don't know how to walk together. Truth be told, she's a little bit better at first. You know, so people were looking at knock her down. Yeah, I'm all about that W. But they made it possible for me to live through my injuries. And yeah, at the end of the day, I just am so fortunate to live out my slogan of never give up and never quit and keep pushing forward because those doctors and nurses cared about me enough to keep going. And my medics on the ground. Click for me, Craig. All right, so check this out. After this, I'm going to be up here, right? No, I'm going to be out there next to the wood where it's really good. Here's the thing. If you guys want to ask me a question, please do. Nobody feel bad. And just answer it. I still got it. It still works. here's the proof. I don't get to it right now, but the 2 life lessons I want to leave with you that I live by is number 1, don't dwell on the past, just reminisce it. No matter how many times I woke up in that hospital bed, I close my eyes and I think, like, how do I go back in time? How do I not have this happen to me? It never changed, so I decided to early on in my recovery, don't dwell on it, just reminisce. I had 25 years with arms and legs, and I've had going on 13 now without. They've been incredible. And the other thing is, you can't always control a situation, but you can always control your attitude. The situation really doesn't change, but my attitude is always positive because I get a chance to be here and do this. And I can't thank this fine gentleman enough for everything you've done for me. You're so sweet. He's got the best hair, and I just